we go. Yeah, boy.
All right. Hold on.
I just realized my mic has been live this whole time. So, I don't know if the stream heard it, but if y'all did, I don't know, what I was saying. I don't know how reckless I was, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. Um, my desk is a mess because of how I have to have my stuff set up. I mean, this is wild. I'm gonna show you right when when we finish. I'm gonna show you how it looks back here. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Woo! Okay, we're live. Let me just check Instagram one more time. Instagram was being funny. Okay, we got folks on Instagram. There we go. I'm here for it. All right. Welcome, everybody. Glad y'all are here. Thank y'all for
Yes.
stopping by. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, my bad too. I was just agreeing with you.
All right. How was your day, Ray? How you been?
Yeah, I've
I know you
been
had
out.
something wild happen today at work.
Yeah, I've been outside all day in the cold
Ooh,
on
it's
a
cold.
gun range. So sent from 6 a.m. till about 5 o'clock. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. So for those of y'all who don't know, Ray is in the military, so that's why he's at the gun range. He's not just randomly going to the gun range for fun. Just an FYI. Which, interestingly enough, we actually have a topic about SIKHs in the military, and I'm starting to think that the U.S. military is a breeding ground for SIKH converts. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I'm starting to think. Just from the number of folks we've heard share that they converted, while in the military.
Yeah. So far now, if I'm not mistaken, so far out of the everybody that's reached out to us, I think we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we've communicated with at least 4 or 5.
Okay.
And then there's a couple more too that I know of that aren't in the military anymore, but are also former military as well.
Wow. And that's not even including you and Neek, right? That's like
correct.
4 additional, right? Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. That's wild. Okay, so I'm gonna just tell you right quick. We're not gonna be here too long tonight. And I know we say that, but we said that before. But for real, tonight we are not gonna be here too long because this is not a typical Wednesday night live. We're calling this a community check-in, and if you continue to watch the live, you will understand why. Hopefully, but there are a lot of changes afoot coming up with BLACKxSIKH, and so we wanted to share that with y'all because we have always said that this is a community endeavor. This project is for the community. It's not just for us alone, and so we want to include the community as much as possible. And so that's what we're doing here. We're letting you guys know what's going on, what will be coming up, and all of that stuff. So we got a little. That's what's happening tonight. So hopefully, we won't be here too long. Anything before we get started, Ray?
No, let's get it going. I'm glad that we're starting to see some of our normal folks pop in. I went ahead and replied there, but hey, Tina.
Amen. Tina, who's Tina?
Oh, we've had Tina pop in.
Oh, Tina.
Yeah.
Okay. I immediately thought Tanya D, and I was like, who's Tina? I never heard of Tina. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember Tina. I was just talking about Tina Turner earlier. Anyways, let me not get off track. That'll happen real quick. Okay, so let's go. So again, for those of you who don't know, I'm Smalls. Waiguruji Kukosa, Waiguruji Kifate. Smalls, she, her pronouns. I'm here on Chumash and Tongva land in Southern California, which is what it's called now. I'm doing all right. We usually do a check-in when we have like meetings or like I go to support group, and I was thinking for our community check-ins, that was something that I wanted to implement for the community check-ins. You guys will see what I mean when we get there. But I wanted to start off by saying that for those who don't know, let me just explain what BLACKxSIKH is, because some people think it's just a podcast, some people think it's just a YouTube channel, some people just don't know what it is, some people think it's just an Instagram page. I was gonna say channel, account, or whatever, right? It's a little bit more than that. It's actually a multimedia project, right? It's an advocacy project first and foremost. It is a community, and so there's a lot of things that we want to accomplish. There's a lot of goals that we have for this project. And we've done some restructuring in hopes of accomplishing that goal without getting too stressed out and without having a lot of the mishaps that we've had so far. And of course, joining us, we have our stage manager, Kimmy, back here in the background, the MVP coming in clutch. But before we get started, Ray, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Okay. Satsuri Akal. I'm Ray, also known as Afro Turban Guy on pretty much everything. I'm coming to you guys live from. Hold on one moment. Okay, anyway, I'm coming to you guys live from Northern Arapaho Land or Ute Mountain Ute, also known as Colorado Springs. My pronouns are he, him.
Amen. Amen. All right. So if you are live right now, I would love for you to drop an emoji in the chat. Drop whatever emoji best represents how you're feeling right now or how your day went. Right. Um, I know my most frequently used emojis because it's usually how I'm feeling. If I had to pick I don't even know actually. If I had to pick an emoji, Ray, what emoji would you be dropping in the chat right now if you had to pick one?
So I use it a lot, actually. You know the little one that has a little squiggly mouth and yeah,
Yes, with the
yeah,
eyes,
that's
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. I use that quite a bit too. I think my most frequently used one is, well, besides the like the heart and like the fist, the black power fist. I think I use the one with the glasses, which has actually gotten me in trouble before because I use that as like a regular smiley face because it looks like me with little buck teeth and then the glasses. And I actually used that as a reaction for somebody. And I guess they thought I was calling them a nerd, which was an insult. It was a mess. It was a mess. So I'm now more careful using that one. But if I had to choose one for today, no, that's how I'm feeling right now. Or the one with the sweat bead, the one that's like stressed out. That might be my emoji right now.
I'm so upset that they got offended by the thought that I'm a proud nerd, but
I'm a
okay.
proud nerd too. You know, I'm gonna be honest. Again, I don't want to get too far off track, but I think it's because it was a trans person, and I think they were like just at the beginning of their transition, and so they were showing
Mm,
like some pictures or whatever in the chat, and I was like excited for them, and I was like, you know, whatever. And again, the glasses one, it doesn't mean nerd or geek to me. I didn't realize that that's what other people thought it meant. I just
mhm.
was like, it's an emoji with glasses on. That's what I thought it was. Just like we have an emoji with a turban, like I just thought it was an emoji with glasses. And then they were just like, what is that supposed to mean? It was a mess. And then other people were like, well, yeah, that's what it means. And I thought you were calling us a mess. Anyways, but I said all that to say that they're trans and that we're at the beginning of their transition because sometimes when you are part of a marginalized group or you are multiply marginalized, you can be a little bit more sensitive. You can be a bit defensive, right? I know I've
Mhm,
been there where somebody says
mhm,
something and because especially in writing, you may not perceive it. We may not perceive things the way that they are intended or the way that the person sent the message, right? And so I can
mhm.
understand. It was an unfortunate situation, but I can
Yeah,
understand that. I
yeah.
do get that. I do get that.
Okay, looks like we did get a little bit of response too. Looks like we got a smile from Tina
I
Tina.
love that. I love that. Uh-oh. Yeah, I
Oh,
got. Uh,
same.
Div Jot, is that how you say it? Div Jot? I'm not exactly sure I'm saying that right. Div Jot. That's a new one for me. I've seen there's a lot of Sikh names or Punjabi names that I've seen, but I've not seen them before. So if I'm not saying that correctly, please let me know. I love learning new names. Um,
I can relate to that one a lot.
Divjot also says, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Amen. Same to you. Peace be upon you. All that good stuff. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, do we have any other? Okay, let's see. Kimmy says, what is that face? Lord, I can't see. Oh, I guess it would help if I put glasses on. My day was pretty good, but a migraine's creeping in now. Oh dear. Is that the emoji with the head bandaged? Wrapped?
I haven't seen this one.
Oh,
I
I've
like
seen
it.
it. I think if that's the correct, I can fix that. It is. It is. Okay,
Okay.
I got you. I understand. Headache, impending headache. I get it. I get it. Hopefully, luckily, won't be here too long, so we'll see how that goes. All right, cool. And we got praying hands in there. That's dope.
Ah,
Charlie
Div said
Seven
you said it
D's.
right. My bad.
Oh, nice, nice. Yes, thank you for that. Charlie 7D over on Instagram says, "Do you upload to YouTube?" We do, in fact, upload to YouTube. So we are on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. What am I missing, Ray? I think that's most of them. Wherever we are, it's the same profile name,
Yep.
BLACKxSIKH. Same with email if you ever need to reach out to us. But yeah, we do upload to YouTube.
Yep.
And hopefully that to make that our main platform at some point. Right now, I think we get most traction from Instagram and TikTok. But yeah,
We are
all
on
right.
all your major social media platforms.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So if you're coming in later, go ahead and just drop an emoji if you hear this. If you're on the replay crew or if you're catching up, drop whatever emoji you're feeling like or however your day has been. Drop it in the chat or drop it in the comment section. All right, cool. What we got? Divjo says spot on. Nice. Yes. I have learned the key. I think I don't know if this is true for most languages, but I know that this is true for like a lot of Indo-Aryan languages like Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, is that if you learn the vowel sounds for the most part, you will get like a good 80 to 90%. Like you can sound it out. It's kind of like the same thing when you learn to read, English or whatever. Like
Yeah.
when you start to sound it out, you have to learn the vowels. The difference is it's so much better than English because English got all these rules that don't always apply. And you got, for the most part, with Indo-Aryan languages, the sounds are what they are. And that has been very helpful. Kimmy says, yep, that's it. Okay, nice. Nice. Got
Stupid
it. All right.
elephant and a P in it.
What?
I was just tagging on to what you said about English not making sense and
Oh,
my gripe with elephant pants.
I got you. All I heard was elephant with P in it. And I wasn't thinking about the letter P. I was thinking about like urine pee. And I was like, why are elephants peeing right now, Ray? What are you talking about? Okay, I'm following. All right. So this is what we got on tonight's agenda. We got some news and some announcements that we're going to talk about real quick. Some project changes. I don't know why that's on there twice because really that's the same thing. The news and announcements are the project changes and the new plans that we have. So I don't know why I wrote it like that, but it's essentially the same thing. We're going to tell you about a few of the upcoming topics that we have coming up. And if anybody's interested in joining that conversation, coming on either a live stream or a pre-recorded video, please reach out to us. Again, you do not have to be both Black and SIKH to join us. Last week we had was it last week or week before last? I can't remember. At the end of February, we had at the end of February, we had, yeah, you're right. We had boss attorney Bree came on. We discussed black hair, but we also discussed legal things related to SIKH and related to black hair and all that good stuff. So again, once you hear some of the topics, you'll see what I mean. You do not need to be Black or SIKH to join us, in this conversation. All right, so let's see. Oh, and then we got a couple things that we want to show you. Some things that came up in our Discord that we kind of want to talk about. All right. Okay, but before we get started, I do have one question. If you're here watching us live, or if you're watching on the replay later, I've got to know this. I've said this before, I say this all the time, but I am a language and linguistics nerd, right? I love words, I love language, I love learning new things, right? And so I was curious. I thought about this a couple streams ago. I would love to learn some new slang or lingo from different parts of the world, different cultures. I realized that lingo and slang is not just regional, right? But it can also be like their cultural differences or specific to certain cultures. And so, yeah, if you guys, I want to know your favorite slang or like the wildest slang. Like who got the best slang out there? I particularly think it's the Bay Area. I think we have the best slang out there. And I'm talking about in a global sense. UK be wilding sometimes with y'all no, you know who really be wilding with the slang? Australia.
Yeah.
Australia be wilding with their slang. Their slang, their lingo, it makes no sense. But you know what? I'm not gonna say too much because English doesn't make that much sense. But yeah.
While we wait for them to drop some of those, you actually made me think about something. So like a couple years ago, because like I'm a hip hop head, I ended up getting kind of a bit more into UK hip hop too. And
Okay.
because of what you just said with the lingo, some of the songs that I heard the first couple times when I was listening to some of the artists I like, I was like, wait, what are we talking about here? Like,
right.
I was
Because they
so
be wilding.
lost. I had to go look
True.
up some of the terms because there's an artist named Stormzy, and on one of his
I know
albums, he
Stormzy.
said, "Stay away from these pagan youths because they come around and get ash on me." And I was like, "Pagan? Wait, what does religion have to do with this?"
Oh. You know what's wild? I actually understood that. That is wild. I understood that. You know, we're gonna have to talk about this later. We can talk about this offline, but I actually have some from when I was doing music. I have some UK MC like hip hop artist friends out there. I should I don't know if they're still doing music, but yeah, they do got some wild slang. So yeah, I would love to know some of y'all favorite slang or lingo, whatever you use regionally. Last time we learned about wicked, which apparently they use a lot in Massachusetts. That's lovely. That's interesting. Okay, so a few announcements. All right, Ray, you want to take the first one? Let them know what's happening with At the Intersection.
Certainly. So at the intersection, which of course was our long form video podcast, we have paused on that podcast until further notice. Mostly reason being because, as we mentioned before, or as was Smalls mentioned before, we realized that we wanted to go ahead and take some time to make sure that what we were able to do and what we were able to produce was something that could be managed between the two of us if necessary. And so some of what was actually required in order to put out that content required a bit more production than between the two of us we were able to do at the time, so that we can provide that quality content to you. We've decided to go ahead and pause that for now. But again, that's not to be confused at all with the live stream that we do every Wednesday. That would be
Absolutely.
more along that pre-recorded content that you'd all seen in the past.
Absolutely. So, like you said, at the intersection was our long form video podcast, and I'm gonna be real. The other part of it is like I was never the video podcast was something that was suggested by somebody who was by a couple of people that were on the team originally, like back in 2021, and that's where we got the idea for that. But that also requires the most amount of production, the most amount of work, and like writing, and it required a lot of work, and I was okay with letting it go. I'll just put it like that. I was just like, yeah, we can pause that. I'm totally okay with pausing the video podcast right now. And like Ray said, once we get to a place where we have the production that we're comfortable with and the time and the schedule that we're comfortable with, yeah, we'll bring it back. But that's not to say we won't continue to do the topics. It'll just be a different format. I think it'll be better considering what we have planned. All right. So the next one is you want to tell them about the Discord? You want me
Oh,
to take it or
certainly. Certainly,
go for
certainly. I
it?
can I can talk about that. So, a lot of people, we've had a lot of comments, and a lot of our viewership has been asking about a Discord for a while. Well, we do have that. We've actually had it in anyone that's seen some of the previous streams have saw that we've mentioned that it was still in the beta stage as well. It is now open to the public, and as you can see listed on the screen, you can go ahead and DM Black and Sick to request to join the link. We do have well, pretty much up and running. There's a lot of opportunity there to share content that may get talked about on Black and Sick. There's a general section to just honestly relax and just talk about whatever you wish to talk about. There's a section in there, of course, about SIKH. There's a section in there for BLACKxSIKH as well.
Yeah,
So there's quite a few
there's a
different
lot. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot on the Discord server. So definitely, if you are interested in connecting with us on a more personal level, not super personal. I'm kidding. But anyway, on a little bit more personal level than you're able to right now on our live streams, definitely join the Discord. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to communicate with you.
Absolutely. We talked about the fact that this is a community endeavor, and that's really our main goal is to focus on the community. And that's one way to foster community, foster conversation is Discord, or at least have a central place where we can do that. And like Ray said, discuss all types of things. And again, you do not have to be Black or Sikh to join the Discord. We have somebody in there already who is not Black or Sikh. We have a couple people in there actually. So yeah, if you're interested, hit us up. We'll get you a link. All right. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the plans, the restructuring. Now, I'm not gonna say too much, but I will say that since we launched, this project has been stressful in one way or another, and it's for a number of reasons out of our control. And so it is what it is. And I have tried to resign/quit a number of times, and I keep getting pulled back in. Like people be like, okay, if we just do this, then it'll work. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I've said all that to say that I think we do finally have a plan going forward that will work. Ray and I, we work very well together, and I love a lot of the ideas that he had and that he came with. Because Ray wasn't part of like the original team that came up with the idea to do BLACKxSIKH, right? But I'm so glad that he has joined the team and joined the project because he's just had some amazing ideas. And so working with him and being able to bounce ideas off of him is how we got to where we are now, which is what I truly believe is going to be sustainable. I think that's the best word for it. It's going to be sustainable because what was happening before was certainly not sustainable. So there's four main things that we're going to focus on that we had to figure out our objectives and our goals. Like, how were we going to accomplish the mission that we set forth, that we said, this is our mission for the project. What are our goals? What are our objectives? How are we going to get there? And so we've broken it down into like four main things, right? One is the live streams. Live streams work really well. I noticed that a lot of times, when we do pre-recorded content, and this is for most people, I've found when you do pre-recorded content, not only does it require a lot of work, but people get nervous and then they might put on like their phone voice or like they get kind of stressed out. This has happened to almost everybody, guests, whatever. And live streams seem to be a bit more comfortable. You're kind of off the cuff or whatever. So we love live streams. We love being able to interact with you guys in real time. Most of all, I think that's my favorite part of live streams, right? Getting that immediate feedback and you guys being able to participate in the chat. That's my favorite part. So we're going to do live streams. We're going to continue to do short form content, right? And so that'll be social media content, but not just for social media. We will do like short to medium length videos, right? More fun stuff. It won't always be serious, heavy topics. Like that's what we've had so far. But we have other ideas that help us accomplish the goal that we've set forth that are a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more enjoyable, not super stressful. Because again, thinking about all this stuff it can get pretty heavy. So yeah. And then community engagement. And here's what we mean by community engagement. So I come from a background of advocacy work. And so that has looked like speaking at schools or at conferences or like corporate gigs or whatever, or facilitating workshops or support groups or, anything that requires you to really get involved with and touch bases with and engage with the community. And so that it could be in person, it could be virtual, whether it's, a speaking engagement or event at a school or, somebody's daddy's office. I don't know. But community engagement is a big one for us. And that's going to look like the Discord channel. That's going to look like, engaging with you guys on live stream, but also potentially events and again, workshops that might happen. So yeah, that'll be fun. That's the part. I think that's the element I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that's my background. That's where I come from, and I'm looking forward to getting back there. Haven't done anything like it since COVID. I don't think so. This should be exciting. And then the last one is a support group. And to be clear, support group. I think a lot of times when people hear support group, they think like it's for if something's wrong. Like I think people think like NA or AA or like stuff like that. Like support groups, right? Like something's going wrong, like a cancer support group. Like I don't know why that was the first example I had, but support group, it means just what it says, right? It's a support group, and we could all use some support, but we could also use some camaraderie, engaging with each other, having a place that is a safe space to open up, to have conversation with each other, to give each other feedback. Ray and I were at a support group this last Saturday. And it's a support group that I found a couple of years ago, and I've only missed like once or twice since then because it really does give me this like boost of energy. It's like almost like a recharge every time I go, and I'm hoping that we can create something like that, create a space, create an opportunity like that for BLACKxSIKH especially, but not just BLACKxSIKH. So we'll see how that goes. We haven't started on that endeavor yet, but yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I definitely the biggest reason to add on to what you said about the support group. I think it's extremely important because one of the things I've been seeing more and more, I see it in our comments, and I've seen it on different platforms. There are so many SIKHs out there that are discovering SIKH or have been practicing for a little bit of time that have no real community outside of online. So that's a space that we can potentially fill to help connect some of those people. And again, like we mentioned before, wanting to potentially be able to build even a virtual Sangat is something for some people, because there are people
It's
like me that
crucial.
go through every single day of my life, except for when I'm working on BLACKxSIKH, and I have no connection to any SIKHs.
Right. Yeah, I will say that is when I found SIKH, right? Of course, I found it online. I found out about it online, and my first experience at the Gurdwara I went to was not a pleasant one. Nobody spoke to me after I tried to speak to people. It was like all in Punjabi, and then like the people who did speak English were just like, I don't know if they were really just put off by my presence and not expecting me there. I don't know. I'm not going to try to play mind reader, but I will say that it was unpleasant, and it wasn't just because they were shy or scared or whatever other things people tried to do to make excuses and gaslight me and tell me I wasn't experiencing what I was experiencing. You can tell when somebody's staring at you because they're curious or never seen you versus if they're scowling at you, or if they're following you around because they think you're going to steal, or if they just tell you flat out, when you first came here, we thought you were here to steal, because that has happened as well. And so my initial in-person experience wasn't great. And it was the online SIKH community that really held me up and provided that sangat for me, you know what I mean, until I found a gurudwara and some mentors and things of that nature. And I will say it was actually almost exclusively queer Sikhs, and that wasn't intentional. I wasn't like seeking out queer Sikhs, but those are the ones who were the most welcoming, who were like, hey, what do you need to know? Like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever, like, here, let me give you some tips, or just being in community with them too, because that's the other thing. It doesn't always have to be about learning and teaching each other, or like I should say, it doesn't always have to be about teaching people, right? You can learn just from being in the presence of people, from watching them work and watching them interact and things of that nature. And so that was vital to my progress and my growth as a Sikh, having a sangat and having people that I could go to and talk to and yeah, to discuss things, you know. Yeah. We got a comment here from Arjun Singh that says, queer Sikhs have such open hearts. I will agree and disagree. I will just say that Sikhs, like humans, are human, right? And so some have had amazing open hearts and have been so welcoming and so like excited to like, you know, be sharing Sikhi with us and be sharing this faith practice with us. And some have been absolutely abhorrent and said that Black people do not belong in Sikhi, that we cannot practice Sikhi if we want to continue to say that we're Black. You can go to our TikTok comments now, or even the Instagram comments, and see some of like the really like vile stuff that's been said. I've deleted some of like the really, really bad stuff, but there's still some there. So I will say, yeah, so I agree. Sikhs do have open hearts, and some don't. And so we are hoping to find the ones who do, through this process and through this project. So yeah.
I just want to make sure that I heard it right as well. Did it just say Sikhs do in general, or did it say queer Sikhs?
Oh, you're right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Queer Sikhs have such open hearts. Okay, now that makes more sense. That provides some context. Yes, okay, I will agree with that. I've not yet met a queer Sikh that I had a poor interaction with. I will just say that. I think it's important to say we've had several people say it's the older people, it's the aunties and the uncles who, you know, I've even had people say you have to wait for them to die off and then things will be better. Like I've heard that comment, right? That's actually a comment on a TikTok. Once again, if you want to go to the TikTok, you can see it for yourself. And I will wholeheartedly disagree with that, because the Sikhs who have been, I will tell you, there are two demographics of Sikhs who have been the most welcoming, the most kind, the most open-hearted, the most, you know, have really like redeemed. I won't say redeemed Sikhi for me, because you know, my love for Sikhi is definitely stronger than just, you know, a few bad apples or whatever the issues are. But I will say the two demographics that have done the most, that have provided the most community, has been older Sikhs, like older, like 50, 60 plus.
Yep.
40 even, but definitely older Sikhs, and queer Sikhs. Those two demographics of people of Sikhs have been like the most welcoming, right? Like when somebody intentionally skipped prashad, like just skipped right the F over me, right? It was an older Sikh that was like, what are you doing? No, not okay, right? When I go to the 7-Eleven, right, there's everybody working there is a Sikh, and they used to like not speak, right? And it was the older gentleman who always spoke no matter what. He spoke to me, he said, hi, how you doing? And I think he probably speaks the least amount of English, but he did his best to like hold conversation with me. And even now he's like, hey, do you want these suits? I have these suits, my daughter has some suits, and you know, like just looking out for me. And I really appreciate that. It's the older Sikhs who are always like looking out for us. Ray, I don't know if you want to tell them like real quick. We are going on long time, but like, you want to tell them about the uncle who reached out to us and was like, hey, call me. He did what uncles do and was like, call me.
Yep, certainly. So we did have one of our viewers reach out, and it was originally when he reached out, because of course, as we mentioned before, which is why we're restructuring some things. Smalls had a lot on her plate, so it was kind of like,
and it wasn't. Let me just say, it wasn't just that. It was also that we've also had Sikhs who have like tried to really like test us and challenge us. Who will be like, you need to have a conversation with me so I can make sure you understand Sikhi. Like I needed their permission. Like I've had people be like, can we get on a call so I can tell you whatever I need to say? They've wanted to get on a call or wanted to have a conversation with us, but not for good reasons, right? And so I was like really hesitant. I didn't know what he was like asking or wanting, but also I was busy. But yeah, I did want to provide that context too. So
yeah.
Right.
So certainly. So I did get to go ahead and have a conversation with him, and it was really, really good conversation. He was prepared to give some resources. We actually agreed on a lot of things, and it was more of a conversation. He was trying to understand completely where we were coming from as far as what we were working on, but also trying to make make it clear, because I think that because there definitely was some language barrier there too. So I think that one of his concerns was that some of the maybe some of the experiences that are definitely not SIKH, he was afraid that those things could run us away. And so
Oh,
he wanted to
yeah,
present to
no.
us and have a conversation with us to make it, if we weren't aware, to make us sure that, hey, no, these people are stupid.
Yeah, you know what? And I think that's important to say though, because that really just proves what I was just saying, right? Which is that it's the older six who are like, hang on, don't let these knuckleheads like, run you away or do whatever. Now I'm deep into it. And like I said, they're not gonna run me away because my love for SIKH is stronger than that, right? Like with all the foolishness that I've dealt with, if that hasn't run me away, it's not happening. With the foolishness that we dealt with when we first started the project, like November, December, when we first popped on the scene, whoo, some people were mad, mad. I mean, mad, mad. And we heard everything, called everything but a child of God, right? Like said some things I never thought I would hear a SIKH say, right? And again, it's the older SIKHs who come through and be like, oh nah, no, you are welcome here. We want you here. Do you have any questions? Do you need any resources? What do you need? I got you. It was always the older SIKHs, like I said, the aunties and the uncles that did that for us. So I'm very grateful for that. And
Oh,
so and yeah, Ray got I don't know if you said that. I don't know if you mentioned this, but Ray, I went ahead because he was like pretty persistent. I asked the team if anybody wanted to have a call with him, and Ray was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I was like, "Bet." And so that's how we ended up talking to him because I think he's in Canada, right?
he is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we got some additional comments here.
Oh,
Um,
Alan.
Iron Jai Deep. Okay, wait a minute. Iron Jai Deep Kung. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And I don't know how many names that is. I feel like that's 4, but I feel like maybe it's not 4, maybe it's just 3, maybe it's only 2 names. I don't know. Correct me, please, if I'm wrong. Iron and iron doesn't sound right either because that sounds like English, but I don't feel like that's how you say that in like Punjabi or whatever. So I think I'm definitely wrong on that one. But they said that's so sad. Anyone can join SIKH. I'm sorry you faced that. Yeah, don't be sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. It's all good. We're tougher than that. I agree. And part of the reason that we are doing this project is so that other SIKHs hopefully don't have to deal with what we're dealing with. And that's not to say like we're going to solve the problem, right? Like we're not going to solve racism. We're not going to solve anti-blackness. And, we're not going to solve homophobia and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that it would have been great to have a space or have people that I could have turned to when those things were happening. When I was like, hey, I feel like this is happening. Am I tripping? And they're like, no, you're not tripping, right? Because again, I do have my mentor who is a Black woman. She's a lot older. She started practicing SIKH in the 70s. And so she's been practicing longer than I've been alive. And so there's a, like a generational difference that, so she doesn't always understand things. And her experience has like, for the most part, been pleasant, where mine has not been 100% pleasant. So, that's again why we wanted to do this project, so that at least Black SIKHs, or not even just Black SIKHs, but other non-Punjabi SIKHs have a space that they can go to, people that they can go to and touch bases with. And also that's why Punjabi SIKHs are so important and vital to this project, right?
Yes.
Because like, to be clear, this project is not about us separating ourselves or segregating ourselves from the rest of Sikhs or from Punjabi SIKHs. It is actually the exact opposite. It is us trying to figure out how to make this a more inclusive experience, and to show Black SIKHs that, when they come across foolishness or they experience foolishness, it's okay. But look, we got a gang of Punjabi SIKHs who are dope. We got a gang of Punjabi SIKHs who understand SIKH and who practice it the right way, and who aren't, super racist and aren't going to say ridiculous, wild things like that. Like, so you guys showing up in the chats, you guys leaving comments, all that stuff, I have heard from Black SIKHs that has made a difference. And so I'm telling you right now, when y'all come to the chat, when you guys leave comments and you guys show what SIKH is really about, that's really important to a lot of like newer SIKHs who are just coming to the faith. So I really
Yes.
appreciate y'all for that.
Please keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, it looks like another one of our regulars popped in. Hey, Alan. Looks like he said
Oh yeah,
y'all.
I was trying to
Okay.
get to the Instagram comments, and then I was gonna go to
Okay.
YouTube. But yeah, I did see
Okay.
Alan. What up, Alan? I don't know if I told you this. I think I said this last time, but I got an uncle. You know what's funny? My uncle's name was Ray Allen. That's kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
y'all who don't get that, this Ray and then Al. Okay. Anyways,
Mhm.
let's get to the last of these Instagram comments. Uh, So we are all one, not just S6. Is there any way I can help or join your guys' project? We would love to have you. There's a lot of ways that you can help. And when I say a lot of ways, I do mean a lot of ways. From anything from coming on as a guest for content or coming into the Discord. There are some people who do like admin type things like, hey, you need some spreadsheet typed up? I got you. You need this done? I got you. You need an email drafted? I got you. Anything from that to editing to there's all kinds of ways that you can help. So it would just be about finding, what you have time for, what fits into your schedule, what fits into your, your skill set, what you want to do. We hope that the ways that people help are also enjoyable and sustainable. So yeah, whether it's a one-off type thing or a continuous type thing, absolutely hit us up. Please DM us. Let's see. Please, I'm down to help you guys. Who can I get in contact with? So you are on the Black and Sick page right now. Go ahead and DM us on there after this, after the live or now, whenever. And we will get you a link to join the Discord. But even if you don't join the Discord, or if you're not familiar with Discord, we will be in touch with you to figure out the best way to help, the best way that you can support the project and support the cause. Because again, like I said, it's more than just a project. This really is us trying to do something for generations to come so that they have a space that we didn't have that we wish we had, right? So I really
Yes.
appreciate you and all the other Punjabi Sikhs who come through and are down for the cause. Let's see. Arjun Singh said, second this for sure. Okay, and then I did miss one. I don't know if you guys have interacted with the Nanaskar Gurdwara community, but they are very open. I have not, but when you DM us, I would love to know more. If I can ask you about that, or how do we find out more about them? I would. Ray, have you heard of that
I
community?
have not, but I'm interested
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Ray, you want to go through some of the YouTube comments?
Yep. So far,
While I
we
figure out how to
only
get
had
there.
just another one from Alan. And let me go ahead and show it there on the screen so everyone else can see it too. Our friend Alan just letting us know that y'all are
Oh, I
definitely
see.
representing us so well. We're glad
Oh,
to hear it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That is definitely a concern. I always remind people that Black people are not a monolith. So just because I say something or believe something or do something a certain way, that is not representative of all Black Sikhs. Is not representative of all Black people. It is representative of me, this one Black person, right? And so I appreciate the feedback, and we are always open to feedback, positive, negative, constructive, whatever. And I don't tone police either. So however you need to say, it. I mean, don't be disrespectful. You feel me? But also don't worry about sugarcoating it. Just give us the real. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so speaking of supporting the project and the cause, these are a few ways that you can probably best support the project. All right. I'll go through the first one, and then Ray, you want to take this that we can just bounce back like that.
Yep, sounds good.
So the first one is a Patreon. We started a Patreon, and I was hesitant to start it at first for a number of reasons. One, because we are just getting started, right? We're small, mighty, small but mighty. But I heard from one of our favorite creators, a creator that both Ray and I listen to, FD Signifier, and we were already thinking about doing the Patreon, and he posted something on YouTube that says, hey, if you're a creator and you're thinking about starting a Patreon, just do it. Like, don't hesitate. If you're a creator, just do it now. Like, even if you just have one supporter, even if you just get $1.50 a month, it's $1.50 more than you would have had. And one reason that's so important is because, believe it or not, this is not free, right? This is not a free project. It costs, right? Labor costs, video editing, having somebody to do that, the equipment that we are using. I do have a good bit of equipment from when I was doing music, but we had to get Ray some equipment and make sure guests have things. And again, we want to take care of people when they are doing a good amount of work for us. We want to make sure people are getting paid because we don't believe in free labor. And so these are a few of the ways that you can support monetarily, because aside from in-kind support, which we will get to in a second, that is probably the biggest area that we need help in, is just the financial support, monetary. And like I would hear often when people say anything helps, like just $2, just $1, $5, anything helps. And it wasn't until like I got on this side of things that I was like, oh no, you're right, because it really does add up pretty quickly, right? If everybody's just dropping $1, $2, whatever, it adds up pretty quickly. And so we have a few tiers on Patreon. I think the lowest one is like $1. I think you can do like $1 a month.
Yep.
And you get some extra stuff. Now, we will just say right up front, we don't have a ton of perks because, again, we have limited resources right now, and we're trying to use them wisely because we were trying to make this a sustainable project. But yeah, we do have some perks. We're going to show you some behind the scenes things. This is going to be our last Wednesday night live stream until the end of our hiatus. because that's one thing that I forgot to mention. All those things, the restructuring, that's going to take time. We are changing the way that we're doing things, we're changing our plans, and so it's going to take some time. And this was actually Ray's suggestion, and I really, this is why I appreciate him so much, because I'm somebody who will work myself into the ground, or more accurately, work myself into the hospital, especially having a chronic illness. And so Ray was like the main one that was like, you need a moment to just pause, like you need a moment to just like stop and not be doing BLACKxSIKH stuff, get your mental health together, make sure you're right, and then like get back to work, and let's get ahead of the curve. And so I'm really grateful for that, because he was absolutely right. And so we will be going on like a hiatus. We will be posting a little bit here and there, but for the most part, the only content that we'll be posting is to Patreon. We will be doing community check-ins every week through the hiatus, and they will mostly be, this is probably going to be the longest one because we're telling you guys everything that's happening, but the rest of them will essentially be, how y'all doing, how you been, how your mom and them. Let me tell y'all what we doing, let me tell y'all what we going through. Great day, not so great day. Because again, coming from an advocacy background, I always want to know how the people that I'm working with, how they're actually doing. It's not just about the work. It doesn't make sense for us to do this type of work, to do this project, if it's running the people who are doing it, the people I'm working with, if it's running them into the ground. So that's what the community check-ins will be about. Just touching base with the community, showing y'all some behind the scenes things, getting some advice from y'all, letting y'all vote on things like merch that we have coming up, all kind of stuff. We got all kind of stuff. So
I want to say this too, because I think we didn't necessarily touch this, but for a bit more transparency as well. With getting ahead of the curve, one of the things that Smalls was referring to is one of the things we found in the past, although we were doing a great job at it with topics and information that we wanted to go over, we're doing a pretty good job at that. But the truth of the matter is we were kind of scrambling to try to make sure to get all these things done dang near every week. So we were finding ourselves having to meet multiple times in a week because we were trying to put out these things and trying to come up with them sometimes the week before. So part of one of our goals is, all right, so we want to come back at this thing already having quite a bit of content that we're like, yep, this, then that, then this, then that, and let's go. And that's why we said we want to take that hiatus time, because we want to make sure that we're putting forth the best product that we can.
Yeah. I wasn't going to touch on that for a number of reasons, but because a lot of that, again, it was out of our control.
Yeah.
To be clear, when we first started the project, we were ahead of the curve. We had 4 episodes lined up, like already in the can. Several we already had shot, but we had folks not doing what they said they were going to do, type thing. Like that's the type of issues that we were dealing with. And so again, you can only control you can only do what you can do. And so that's really how we kind of got behind, and things not being done. And again, I'm limited on what I can say, because again, I'm not gonna say too much.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna do that. But yeah. So we're trying to course correct is what, snap. We're trying to course correct is what essentially we're trying to do. It's not, I just want to make it clear, like we weren't behind the curve because we just came in and had no idea what we were doing. Like that was always the plan. That was what was implemented. I've been a producer for like over 15 years now. Like I know what I'm doing. It's just you can only do what you can do. You can't make people keep their word. Okay. What else? Okay, engagement. You want to go through number 2?
Heck yeah. All right. So engagement. So like we mentioned before, we did mention, of course, that we're on every platform. So with us being on every platform, that means on the YouTube, we have a lot of people that watch and are showing up and leaving comments on YouTube. We need you to subscribe. We need you to comment. We need you to like and follow and share on all of these platforms, because that's another thing that definitely helps. Whenever you can view, even if you don't get to watch it live when we're on, definitely try to check everything up, because the more that we work that algorithm and do what's necessary in order to continue to build that support on these platforms, the closer that we can get to maybe also even finding some partnerships or some monetary gain from these platforms as well. That will, of course, continue to facilitate the product and what we're bringing to you.
Absolutely. Number 3, this is what I mean when I say put us on. I was trying to think of another way to say it. Like that's the problem with like AAVE. Like, you know, I don't always know how to translate it, but put us on. In other words, if you know of a small business or if you know of a big business or whatever that wants to do sponsorships or brand deals, or if you know about grants that we might not know about, right? You know, whether it's government grants or private grants, like whatever it is, anything that will help fund this. If you got a rich uncle or auntie who wants to support the project, let us know. That's what I mean by put us on. Like, so when it comes to fundraising, keep us in mind as you go. And then number 4, Seva. We do have a number of Sikhs who are using BLACKxSIKH as like a Seva project, right? So for those who are not Sikh, you might not know, Seva is essentially selfless service, volunteering, community service work. You will see Sikhs in the community, and oftentimes Sikhs will be the first one there, right? Helping whoever they gotta help. I mean, I just watched a video the other day about Sikhs feeding Black Lives Matter protesters and things like that. And so while we don't need people to feed us necessarily, well, I probably do. I probably need somebody to feed me. But we do always need help with a number of things, right? We are a team full of neurodivergent people, and that means different things to different people or for each of us. But things like admin work, drafting emails, things that might be simple to you, that might be time consuming or tedious for us for one reason or another, or just organizing things like keeping the files organized or doing some research here, or there's all kinds of ways that you can help. And so, like I said, if you are interested in helping in that way, like instead of monetary, excuse me, in kind is what it's called, in kind donations or helping with your time. Seva is probably the second biggest one for us. Like engagement is important. Don't get me wrong, it is crucial, especially on YouTube. That's the one that we're really trying to focus on because that's where you can, you know, really get monetized there, and we got to get eligible for monetization first, right? But Seva is the other one, because without that we burn out. Without that we can't grow as fast as we'd like to. So yeah, these are some of the ways that you can support BLACKxSIKH and support the cause. And also, I didn't put this, but I really want to emphasize that the other way, and this is the most important way out of all of them, is just by showing up, being present, in spaces where there are Black Sikhs, where there are non-Punjabi Sikhs, letting them know that they're welcome, you know, interacting in the chats, dropping a comment just to say, hey, I see you, you're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to choose between your culture and this faith practice, like, right? Countering messages. If you see somebody leave something reckless, check them or something. Like, it really just is about showing up, basically about being a Sikh, right? That's one I didn't put on here, but it might be the most important one of all. And that is especially to my fellow, I'm about to say fellow, my Punjabi Sikhs. Showing up. You guys hold a certain power with this being an ethno religion. You guys hold a certain amount of power and influence, and you guys just being present and being your awesome selves is, maybe we'll talk about it one day because I don't want to make this too long, but I cannot overemphasize like how important that is, how crucial it is, how helpful it is, and not just me, but these are things that we've heard from other people. So thank y'all for that.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna just run through this list of content. We're not gonna go into it right now. I'm just gonna literally just give you the list and give you an idea of what's to come. And we have a lot more ideas than this. We got about, how long is the page? It's about 5 pages worth of ideas.
Yes.
Some half baked, some are more thought out, some are just need to be written, whatever. So here are a few that I thought would be interesting. I just pulled a few. Proselytizing in SIKH. As somebody who was raised Christian and comes from a religion that, I mean, that might be the whole identity, is saving souls and preaching the gospel, aka colonization. It is such a major difference, and so that's a big one. So for those who, I just wanted to say that because not everybody knows the word proselytizing, but in other words, it's like going out and spreading the good word or telling other people. So that's what I mean by proselytizing, right? Also, Black and Brown solidarity is one I'm so looking forward to. I've been wanting to do this one for like 3 years now. Black and Brown solidarity, the history of Black American and South Asian solidarity. I always say there's a lot of parallels and overlaps. You'll see with that one. We got a dope guest for that one too. And then, is the U.S. military a breeding ground for Sikh converts? I'm inclined to believe yes. Got to do some more research, but I'm inclined to believe yes. We got 2 in the chat, right? I mean, we got 2 here right now. Sikhi versus Sikhism. This one is a pet peeve of mine. Ever since I found out that Sikhism is based on is what was given to the religion by the colonizers. Oh, I was not happy about that. So I've not said Sikhism ever since. But I do wonder why so many Sikhs use it. I mean, I have an idea, but I would love to know more. Already done some research on that. Y'all might not like the answers. Okay. Interfaith versus interracial. When you are practicing that though. Really, I said I wasn't going to explain. Anyways, that's a content. That's an idea. Black and brown joy as resistance. Sorry, this thing
Yes.
was covering it, and I had to remember what the word was that I wrote. Black and brown joy as resistance. So yeah, we got some other ideas. And the last thing I will say is, again, whether we've mentioned it or you have an idea yourself, and again, it doesn't have to be specific to Black and Sikh. It could just be about culture and faith, one or the other. Let us know if you want to come on a live stream, if you want to do a pre-recorded episode, if you want to participate another way, if you want to just join the conversation on Discord, because there are conversations happening on Discord. We are
Yes.
looking for guests. We are looking for people to participate in some of the conversations that we are planning to have. So hit us up, please. Discord is the best way to do that. I will say that, because I keep most of the keep our notifications off, because again, it got real hectic. It got real wild there for a second, so we kept the notifications off. But if you join the Discord, you can get us. Okay, so let's see if this works. I just realized, I don't know. Yeah, see, I don't know if this is gonna work on here, but you know what? I have it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Because I did want to show you this video. Ray, you were the one that brought up the one about the Sikh student getting arrested, right? Was that you?
Yeah, yeah, but it's definitely seen it before quite a bit. My first time seeing it actually was
Can you
on
tell him
Twitter.
what happened? I'm gonna try to play the video, but if I don't play the video, you want to tell him what happened?
It's been a little while since I looked at it, but I do know
Oh,
that he was at
I just meant to
school.
say he was a student and
Oh
he was
yeah,
wearing his
yeah,
kirpan
I
and he
got
got
you.
arrested for it. That's all I meant. I
Yeah.
didn't mean like,
Oh yeah,
detail,
yeah.
detail.
He was at school wearing his kirpan, basically, and conversation ensued about it, and kind of tried to explain himself to him, and basically, yeah, was arrested for wearing it.
Yeah.
Went viral. A lot of people were talking about it. I first came across it through Twitter.
Oh wow. Was that recently? Because this happened about over a year ago.
Yeah,
Did you just
no,
come
it was
across it recently?
no. I came across it actually when it first happened.
Okay, yeah, I did too. But I think this is one we should definitely talk about in a future episode or a future live, because this to me speaks not I don't know why I said to me. This speaks to exactly why I do not carry kirpan, why I don't wear it out in public. Just being Black and the interactions that I've already had with police, and like a lot of the trauma that I've dealt with, and my brother being murdered by the police. Like, I do not have great police interactions. Like, I've been assaulted by police, like physically assaulted. So I don't need anything that is going to increase that risk, right? Like, I don't need anything like we know that police are like shoot first, maybe ask questions later if you're lucky. So that's one reason, that's the main reason that I don't carry kirpan. It doesn't feel like a safe option for me. And so I found it interesting that here you have somebody who clearly has all the signifiers of a Sikh, and he was still messed with, harassed, whatever. All right, I'm gonna try to share this.
Because of the fact that we kind of said that we did want to touch on that one day in the future, I'm refraining from saying much about the kirpan, because I remember me and you talked about
Oh,
it
okay.
together.
Well, I won't play it then. Okay. Okay. So I'll just play the next one then.
Oh, we
Let
could
me
we
see.
could play it, and I can actually respond to it without me going into my thoughts on me wearing the kirpan. I could save that for a later date. Yeah, that'll
All
work.
right, let me see. Now, I don't know if this now I always have issues playing um when I try to share content with the sound playing. So let's see if it'll work. Kimmy says is because I think she said it's because I have to share my entire screen, which I don't like doing usually, but I'm gonna see if it works this time. We'll see.
Also, I think we figured out that it was something with the browser you were in.
Well, I told her that, but she said with Firefox, or if I'm not using Chrome, then I have to share the entire screen. I can't just share a tab.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that's what I meant. Because it is the browser, but I'm not using Chrome for that. Chrome is ridiculous. Let's see if this works. You guys gonna let me know if you can hear it.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I didn't either. So that is clearly not the solution. But luckily there wasn't actually most of what was here is actually written on the screen. So I'll just tell you guys what happened. And no, I do not have an option to toggle sound on and off. That's what I was saying. No, I don't have that option. I don't have any sound options. And I'm assuming it's because I'm using Firefox. But anyways, essentially he was here minding his business. He was at UNC, which I believe is University of North Carolina. And I believe it was another student that saw it and had a problem with it and kind of made a fuss about it. And then security was called, if I'm remembering the story correctly. And then security was called, and he's trying to explain to them like, hey, I'm sick, like whatever. And they're look, I mean, you can see the cop right there, just like all in his space, like personal space. Never mind. I don't want to get into it right now. I don't need that type of stress right now. But is clearly trying to pull out the kirpan, and he actually offers, he says, would you like me to take it off? Like he was being like nice and kind and like far more patient than he actually had to be, and they still arrested him. Absolutely. Sheer ignorance is actually quite ridiculous, to be honest. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more another time. So actually, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play the last one then. Let me see. This looks a mess. Oh no, did I? Oh, okay. I was like, did I remove the wrong one? All right. Here's one. See, I did want to play this one. I'm kind of mad now.
I am
I'm wondering if I should describe it or
I'm in the process of trying to see if I can hop in and do it too while you're working.
You already have the link?
I'm trying to go and see if I can pull it. We could both.
I mean, I have it. I can just send it to you. That's why I was asking.
Oh yeah. We can do it, and I can share my screen.
All right, bet. 1 second. Bear with us, y'all. You want me to put it in Discord or in the
Discord's fine.
StreamYard? Okay. All right. This is one that like frustrates me though, and y'all will see it in a second. Am I still sharing my screen? Let me stop sharing my screen because I'm bouncing all over the place and I don't know what I'm doing. Here it is. Nope. Here it is. Okay. So this is one that absolutely frustrates me. It is truly, truly ridiculous what happened in this one. And you'll see just how ignorant they were. We actually included this in an episode of At the Intersection, which was the video podcast that we just said we were pausing or whatever. Oh, my Discord isn't even open. Let me see if I can put it in. I'm going to try to put it in StreamYard because my Discord is loading, and I know that's going to take more time. So I'm going to see if that works. If not, then I'll put it in there when we get a chance. But yeah, we included it in an episode of At the Intersection. And it just shows just how ignorant people are. It talks about implicit bias. It's just so goofy. You'll see. Ray, let me know when you have that loaded and work. Oh, is that it right there? Is that you?
Yep. Who do you think is more dangerous?
Definitely this guy. I don't like the beard.
Yep.
Who's a terrorist?
The one on the left is not a terrorist. He's not a terrorist. He's a model and a jewelry designer.
Actually, without the beard, he will look very handsome.
But you would say the guy on the right is more acceptable.
Pause right quick, Ray. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause. Okay, can you start it from the top and make it full screen?
Yep, I sure can. There we go. And there we go. All right, gonna go ahead and start it from the top now.
You could have just clicked at the front of the. All right, let's go.
Who do you think is more dangerous?
Definitely this guy.
Terrorist, jewelry designer.
Actually, without the beard, he will look very handsome.
But you would say the guy on the right is more acceptable because he has no beard.
Of course.
He's a murderer who killed 30 women.
Wow. Okay, that's actually only a clip. That's another one that we will have to spend more time on later. But I just wanted to just remind people that there, implicit bias exists and it's real, and that was ridiculous. There were several people who just assumed he was Muslim, that he was super scary. Mind you, he's in a suit. He might actually be in a tuxedo there. Because for those who don't know, that's Waris Alawalia. He is a fashion designer as well as a model, and obviously is a Sikh, not Muslim. But a couple people said, "Oh yeah, he's got the long scary beard." They literally use those words, "long scary beard." I didn't know beards could be scary, but anyways, he's got the long scary beard, and he just looks like this. He just looks like what? He looks like a man with a beard and a turban. That's what he looks like. Meanwhile, you got Ted Bundy's goofy looking self. I don't understand how anybody's attracted to him because he looks like that. Anyways, Too much. Okay. It is wild to me. It is bananas. And I thought it was important because the last time we were live, we talked about how Sikhs are impacted by 9/11 and the fact that like they got a lot of hate, especially brown men who wear turbans and have beards. They is really rough. And so every time, yeah, anyways, that's why we wanted to touch on that. But again, that's another one that we can add to another stream. So that's it for right now. So we just wanted to make some announcements and go over a few things with y'all. Again, we have a Discord if you guys would like to join that. Hit us up in the DMs. That is now open to the public. We got did I miss anything, Ray? I think I got pretty much everything.
Yep.
Again, if you want to support, if you want to participate, if you want to join the project, if you just want to kick it with us, like if you really just want to key with us, Discord again is a spot to do it. We be in there chopping it up, talking about all kind of things. Some things related to SIKH, some things not. Ray just sent me an article about the WWE. I think her name is Bianca, right? Had me reading that. I was all frustrated and stuff. We be talking about all kind of stuff. We talking about this guy who might want to convert to SIKH because he likes this woman. Meanwhile, and when I'm hearing the story initially, I'm thinking, oh, he's dating a woman who is Sikh, and that's why he wants to convert. Oh, okay. No, he's agnostic and he has a crush on a Sikh woman and wants to convert for that reason. Anyways, we'll talk about it in a minute. But I just thought that it was wild. Anything before we get out of here, Ray?
Nope. I think that we pretty much covered everything. So yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get out of here. We definitely thank everybody for tuning in again.
Did we miss any chats?
Let me make sure.
I can't even get back to StreamYard. Let's see.
I'm there.
All right, cool. I think we're good. We're good.
Nope,
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Bet. Nice. Thank y'all, everybody who showed up. Again, if you want to participate in future lives, you have to join the Patreon. Again, everything is BLACKxSIKH. It is live right now. The Patreon, patreon.com/BLACKxSIKH. We're also on coffee. Buy me a coffee, buy me a chai. We changed ours to chai. There are a number of ways that you can support monetarily, Cash App, PayPal, all those things, but also, again, in-kind support. And like I said, showing up as you are and just being the best version of a Sikh that you can be is one of the best ways that y'all can support. So we really appreciate everybody who does that already. Thank y'all so much. Peace, y'all.
Peace.